Now there's pain and then there's suffering. Luckily, suffering is optional.
Feeling Good with Noah Hammond Tyrrell.
Hello, my friends. Noah Hammond Tyrrell here, back with another video. I make these videos to spread love, to help my fellow awakening humans on their journeys, their quests of living their best life possible. And hopefully these videos are useful for you. Let's dive into today's topic about pain and suffering. Now, in this life, I'll tell you, pain is it's guaranteed, right? I have a little baby girl. A lot of times she can't sleep through the night that well because her teeth are coming in. It clearly hurts. So whether you remember that time of your life or not, it doesn't matter. We've all dealt with pain. We've all dealt with hardship. We've all struggled at times. We've all felt the sting of a painful emotion, the pain of physical pain. We've all felt pain. But suffering is a whole other story. And I've seen suffering, and I've experienced suffering, and I know what suffering is. And my heart just feels so compelled to tell those of you out there who are suffering that you don't need to. In this life, pain is guaranteed. Everything we care about will one day be turned to dust. This whole planet will be gone at some point. Nothing in this world is permanent, including our looks, our friends, our family, our accolades, accomplishments. It all goes away. Now, some people would say that makes life meaningless, but it's not true. The highest purpose of life is to evolve your consciousness, because that's the one thing you take with you. It's the one thing you leave here with, is the work you've done to open your heart, deepen your peace, and expand your consciousness. Every life counts. Don't waste one. So why, though, or how should I say, do we stop suffering? Well, the Buddhists always talk about attachment as the root of suffering. Attachment and desire. And desire and attachment really are the same thing, if you think about it. So let's talk about it for a second. Pain. I got broken up with by my girlfriend. It makes me feel like a loser. She doesn't like me. I'm feeling shame. I'm feeling disapproval. All these triggers from my childhood, not being liked and accepted by whoever are coming up, although we don't usually know it at the time, right? And what's my attachment? Well, I want to be loved. And specifically in this moment, I want to be loved by that person who says they don't love me. And what's my desire? To be accepted and to have things work out the way I want them to, and to have the love that I think I'm putting out into that person come back to me, right? And why am I attached to it? These are just example questions you can ask yourself to end your suffering. Because when we figure out what we're attached to and what we're desiring and whether or not we can get that desire fulfilled or not, that's how we unravel the suffering, right? I might have this deep desire for everyone to have what they need to live happily and abundant and the whole world to be harmonious. And that's a beautiful desire. But if I'm looking out constantly at how that's not being fulfilled in the world, and I'm focused on how it's not here yet and how it doesn't look like we're closer to it and yada, 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 I'm going to suffer. And then what good am I really? At the end of the day, it's about changing ourselves to change the world. The world doesn't need you to change it. Most people who are trying to change the world don't understand that they really just want to change themselves. And then most people who've done the work to change themselves, they naturally change the world. Some people don't even need to work to change themselves. They're just fortunate. They've come into this world with great influences and parents and things that just put the right programming in them to be off on their life trajectory. I would say, without any judgment, those are the younger souls. The higher souls who've been through this game a few times and who are here to get a lot out of this life and ultimately who can handle a lot. Those souls come in here with work to do. They say God will never give you more than you can handle, period. So if you just keep getting up, if you just keep standing back up, you will always find an end to your suffering. And I'm not talking about suicide here, folks. That's the permanent solution to a temporary problem kind of game. I'm talking about liberation. I'm talking about enlightened living. I'm talking about being the version of yourself that you were freaking meant to come here to be. A lot of the greatest people in the world went through extreme pain in order to deliver their gifts to the world. I mean, when Nikola Tesla died, his best friend and closest relationship was with a bird at the park, right? And we've got people like Nelson Mandela, spent 25 plus years in a horrible prison in order to become the version of himself that would come out and do what he did with South Africa and be a role model for this world and put in the history books. Now, again, though, we have to talk about the difference between pain and suffering. Nelson Mandela spent all that time in prison suffering. He would have came out no good to us. He was in there experiencing pain, yes, but he was building. He was building himself. He wasn't attached to the fact that he had to stay in there and do that, although I'm sure those thoughts crept in, but if they became pervasive, they would have broke him, right? So what is the difference between pain and suffering? It really comes down to attachment and desire. Desire for things to be other than how they are right now is a huge one that just kind of came to me. Stop desiring things to be different than they are right now. Start accepting things as they are right now. Only then can you exit the extra added layer of pain you're creating to learn from, grow from, transform from the pains that are actually here for you right now. Ultimately, all of this is here to serve you in awakening your highest potential, your highest self, your highest consciousness, your great, and naturally as a result of that, your greatest gifts to others. So that's the difference between pain and suffering. Does the butterfly go through pain to go from a caterpillar to a butterfly? Probably. But does it suffer? No. And you don't have to either. So hopefully there's something in this rambling talk of mine that lightens your load a touch, that helps you to see the need for detachment, that helps you to see what the real problems are. If you are suffering, the problem is not the problem. The problem is the mindset, the heart set, the emotional cords, the different stuff going on inside your own being that has you suffering over the problem. Problems are everyday affairs in this world. It's how we deal with them that truly matters. It's who we become in the process of dealing with them that truly matters. And the higher soul you are, I guarantee you, the bigger problems you're going to come in here with. But if you face them with courage and conviction and resilience, and you stay the course, I guarantee you're going to find an end to your suffering. You're going to find less pain in life. And if you really go the distance, you enlighten yourself, right? The highest possible outcome of a human life, you'll transcend all pain and delusion and error and misjudgment and attachment and suffering and desire permanently. People think that sounds like a puddle on the floor, but it's actually the way Jesus lived, the way the Buddha lived, the way Lao Tzu lived, right? These great saints and sages of history who left a mark on the planet for millennia to come. They reached that goal of transcending duality and returning to the soulful, blissful, truthful consciousness that resides at the center of each and every one of our hearts. And so they left quite a mark on this planet. And truly, it is these kinds of beings that hold up and hold together the fabric of humanity. because I guarantee you, the average person, they're not responsible for the pleasantness we get to experience on this planet. It's the great ones that do it. And to all those who are seeking to be one of the great ones, I bow in utter humility. To all those suffering and striving to overcome their suffering and their pain, I bow in all humility. And again, I hope that there was something in this video that is useful. Any questions, comment below. Be happy to respond. In the first 24 hours of these videos going out, I always respond to every comment. So get down there. Let me know a question or two. Let me know what you want more videos on. I'm here for you. I'm on this journey with you. And I love you. You are me. I am you. Till next time, lots of love.